How's it? It's Sunny Bunny. I am so excited. I was showing one of my friends, shout out Rock Socks on YouTube. I was showing her Our Life Beginning and Always, and then how did I not know this was a thing? How did I not know this was a thing? I think I might have seen this ages ago when it first got announced. I've only just seen this now. I have no clue what anything is happening. What's going on? I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Tutorial. Welcome to Our Life Now with Demo. This is a preview. The goal of our life is to let you truly live your own unique life in the quaint mountain town of Golden Grove. I love it when choice based games actually let me have choices. I hate it when it's like, yeah, you have options and it's just the same ending with just like a bunch of different masks plastered on top. I'm looking at you, Telltale The Walking Dead, because it's gonna be the same ending no matter what. Mild differences. Thank you so much for playing. We hope you have fun. Okay. Whew. That was a lot of words. Right, let's make our adorable little character. Eyes. Okay, hang on. I'm just gonna check what... Okay. Yellow on this side, red on this side. Okay. Yellow, red. I can remember that. I can remember that. I can remember that. I think. Oh, is that where you... Okay, so... Heterochromia. So left is yellow, right is red. Yes! Oh my word, you can really get in depth. Oh, wow. This is so cool. Let's go back to the base. How pale are we going? Okay, let's go with that one. I think that's okay. Ooh. Okay, what filters do we have? We have long, short, loose, tied, braid, straight, wave, curly. Wow! Oh, that's so cool. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, there's all sorts. Okay, let's do hair at the back first. Ooh, I picked something. Hang on. Purple. Let's adjust the tint. No, that's not what I meant. Hang on. There you go. Tint. There we go. Much better. Okay. How do I close? Okay, there we go. Close. Ooh. Wow. It's amazing because this game is like completely free, which is just insane. Oh, oh, that's cute. What about that one? Oh, that's adorable. I'm so excited. I can't believe I didn't notice this. I am... Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. Oh, I'm getting cuteness aggression. What about this? Just go and see. Actually, that's really adorable. Okay, wait. Yeah, let's go with that. That's really adorable. Okay, oh, my goodness, there are so many options. I love having options. I love having options. Cute little overalls. Let's go with those. Special layers, special clothing. At certain points in the story, you may want to dress your character in special clothing that reflects their cultural heritage. This demo doesn't include such a moment, but you can still have a look at what options are currently available. More clothing options as well as information on the currently available options will be added in the future. Keep an eye out for updates. Ooh! Oh, wow. Oh, that's such a fun thing to add in. Oh, and there's all sorts. Oh man, this oh, that's awesome. Okay. Where is my cute little overalls? There they are. And again, just the level of customization is incredible. And the fact that this is free. Like, this is free. Like, just... Oh my goodness. These developers deserve the world. Wait, what layer is this? Overlayers. Nah, I like the overalls better. Oh, okay, wait, I have to... There we go. Head accessories. Again, just there's so many bits and pieces. And just, can I make them pink? I can make them pink from a green. Okay, no, not green. Blue. Let's go with pink. Pink is adorable. I do wear glasses, but I'm not going to add glasses in. Oh, you can't see the earrings super well. I might actually just go change the hair real quick, just because I do want to be able to see earrings. That's the one thing I always find annoying, is if you can't see earrings just because you've got like a certain hairstyle. And like, it does make sense, I get that, it's just me being a pain. And a cute little nose bandage. There we go. Ooh, adorable. Oh, so cute. Okay, so Sunny, last name Sek. Come on, there we go. Wait. There we go, now I got it. Nope. Nah, I mean, this is a nickname, so let's go with ambidextrous. Medium body type is fine, and let's make it short. Hello from the tutorial again. Now you get to customize the identity of your MC. Like the MC's appearance, you can make this aspect of your character as personalized as you want, or not make use of the more specific elements. Determining the gender of the MC was assigned at birth, what pronouns they use, and what they use. If they use multiple pronouns, adding in your own custom pronouns, selecting which gender terms they're comfortable with, and such can all be up to you. You can also change everything except your assigned gender at birth. At the start of every new step. If you want to begin with one type of identity and then have your MC go through a transition once they're older, that's completely doable. Feel free to select whatever feels the most comfortable at this stage of the story. Ooh, okay, still gonna go with she, her, female, at birth, female. Cool. I love that there's just, this is nice that, like, I mean, like, to some people wouldn't care, but, like, just the fact that, like, the options are there for people who do want that kind of stuff. Madam Sunny, but actually, you know what? You can call me Captain. I have been... That's not high. There we go. Captain. I've been listening to way too much 80s. So, yeah, we're going with Captain. You can add your own honorifics. The custom honorifics is intended to go with custom pronouns and will be treated as a non-binary. That's fine. You can call me Captain. We're going with Captain. Let's go with neutral leading. Now that you've gotten your own character ready, you'll be able to influence the appearance of your biological mother. She has 3 hair textures. Oh, that's so nice! She has 3 hair textures and 6 skin tones. You can even have a look as similar or different from the MC as you like. She chose to raise a child on her own and used artificial insemination to give birth to your character. The biological father never appears in the story, so if your character happens to look nothing like their mom, it can be assumed that they take off the off-screen father. You also get to choose what term your character refers to her by. Currently, it must be a title in order to make sense in the script. If you enter her first name, the phrasing won't make sense. Later builds of the game will be maybe suited for calling her by it. Please don't call your parents by their first names. Maybe it was just the way that I grew up, but like it makes me so uncomfortable when people do that. Genuinely, why do people do that? Even calling other like friends parents or like friends of my parents, I can't. It has to be either Mr., Mrs., Auntie, Uncle. I can't call. No. You'll also be able to change the title you use for her after the start of every step. Her skin tone and hair texture will remain consistent for the rest of the game. That makes sense. Gonna stick with Mum. Pale as me. Where's the option to make her match me? Let's go slightly curly. I'm gonna move to the next step because I think that might be where the option is. But it's so nice because you can have her look like this, or like, you know, like this, like this. Like it's just, there's so many options, and I love that. Mother. Oh wait, I missed it. Oh well. And we've got a last little bit of customization before the story begins. Your interface display style. First, there's your sticker. Since this is the demo, it doesn't matter too much. When I play the actual game when it comes out, I'll see if I can find that option to make her look more like me. First is your sticker. A sticker is just a charming little image that appears in certain screen graphics such as the choice menu and, most importantly, save files. You can easily track different playthroughs using different stickers, and your sticker can change whether you want to by clicking the info button on the sidebar, going to your details page. One example to use it would be if you have a playthrough you're enjoying, but in step 2 you're not sure if you want to romantically pursue Tamrak or Q. You can take that same file, change your sticker, and make another save. One version of the story and sticker could have you dating Tamrick, and I might do that, and the other sticker is a separate story with Q. Finally, there are 2 different text box styles to choose from: traditional visual novel arrangement with the box always along the bottom of the screen, or a more comic book style where the speech bubbles are positioned next to the one talking and at the bottom of the screen when there is narration. I might change to the comic book style. You can switch between them at any time on the preference screen. If the button simple text box is highlighted, you'll have the visual novel style. You click to unhighlight that for the comic style. By default, both text box styles will have the icons to show who's speaking. those can be turned on or off throughout your preferences settings at well. Thank you for reading the beginning tutorial. Ooh. Music note. I'm tempted to go for the music note. Little backpack, little jam. Ooh, no, the cup of tea. I think I'm gonna go with the cup of tea. Can I just go back for a second? Where? I don't see. Might just be me being dumb. I don't see an option to make her match me. Oh. I might have missed if it said that that's only coming later. Visual novel style. Visual novels. I like the icons. Comic. Yeah, let's go. Ooh. It looked like fall in Golden Grove. More than any place you'd seen before, it could be in one of your old picture books to show little kids what autumn was supposed to look like. There weren't any green trees or bushes, but there weren't just bare branches yet. It was almost the same as normal. All that had changed were the colors: red, orange, yellow, brown. Even the blue of the sky high above your head seemed different than it did in summer. It wasn't as bright either, as though it had gotten tired of sparkling by this late in the year. Or like it was even further away from you now that you were in this place. The plants and sky didn't get this way where you lived, where you used to live. Your thoughts continued to jump around while you stood there in the big circle of the street at the end of the road. It was a weird path to you. It couldn't take you ahead or to the sides or anywhere else like most streets you'd gone down. This one only came right here with those big houses. The view in front of you was something you'd only ever seen in photos before from stapled together papers that advertised the middle house being for sale. It must be our house. It had been a picture book to you until this day. Now you knew that it felt like fall here too, because it was cold outside. Chilly enough that you sometimes held your eyes closed for a few seconds longer than usual to try keeping your eyeballs from feeling like they were going to freeze inside your head. This was a real place. The icy air surrounding you said, and you were really in it, and it was where you were going to stay. That was new. Your mum and you had lived in apartments before, and never for very long each time. That was until she'd gotten a big job in this not that big town and bought a big house. You wouldn't be going anywhere else for a long time. Now, in that moment, you couldn't imagine being there forever. But that's just the way it was. The old tan house at the end of the long round road was now your house, standing tall with two others by its sides. Those buildings were home too, with their own people living inside, and those people in those ancient houses were going to be your neighbors. Seemed okay to you. You felt kind of mixed up. You were super excited. You were mad. There wasn't much felt about. It made you so sad. It made you feel scared. This would really be something you thought. How much worse could it be than what it was like before? Coming there had given you hope. Maybe your future would be good. Mixed up inside. Bitterness of leaving your home behind, but also excitement of a new place. Would it be better this way? Worse? Something else? You didn't know what to think. At least your mum was there with you. This was your mum's fault. Oh, I don't like that option. No matter what, you'd keep looking out for your mum. Someone had to make sure she was okay. Oh, I like that it's in the middle. Sunny, come on over and take a look. Oh, that was your mum's voice. You hadn't noticed she'd gotten so far. That was enough to bring you comfort, and you made yourself move forward towards the unknown in order to reunite with her. Off the cul-de-sac road and cutting across lines of grass and sidewalk, you reached the picket fence your mum had pulled from. The gate was unlocked. Unlike the other houses in front of yours was a tiny grey stone walkway that led up to a couple little steps. And those steps led to the door. You dragged your feet along the rocks and dirt. The small private path was more uneven than you thought, and the tip of your shoe got caught on a raised edge between the ground and stone. It caused you to stumble up the line right before arriving at the end of the rocks. You steadied yourself before carefully going up the tiny stairs. Oh, she's so cute. And there your mum was, standing at the edge of the porch, arms folded and waiting. She must have been moving around before, because the shiny opal earrings she had on were twisting from side to side a little bit. You knew they were real opal stones because she told you before, when she first got them. She also told you a long time ago that her normal name, not Mum, was Opal. Her clothes were the colours of a cloudy day after rain had already come and gone. The kind of day that could be cold and bad or really relaxing and comfy. It depended. You wondered which way she looked at it from. You didn't know. The rest of her, though, was so much more bold, especially the matching purply cranberryness of both her hair and eyes. There weren't a lot of things out in the world that colour that could feel gloomy. Everybody would always say that the purple in your hair came from her. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, so it didn't let me edit her eyes or her hair. Maybe I misread that. But it even said like the purple in my hair came from her. That seemed cool. Part of your mum ended up in you. Mum smiled at you. It made you feel soft and warm on the inside as your mum was on the outside. What do you think? It's a pretty place, huh? I've seen worse junk. That's so mean. I hate this. It's okay, I guess. I've seen better places. You're these first four options. You nodded eagerly. You shook your head furiously. You refused to even look. Why does it feel like there's more mean ones? It stinks. Okay, wait. 1, 2, 3. I'd say it stinks is even, like, she's worked so hard. So I'm going to count that 4, 5, 6. And it's 50, 6, 7, 8. 8 of the options are kind of mean, in my opinion. Nodded eagerly. Her mouth stayed in the shape of a smile, but her eyes and eyebrows changed, bending in a way that made it seem like she wasn't really smiling, or it was some other kind of smile. She put a hand on one of the white painted pole things that kept the porch roof from falling down. Her fingers moved along it. Won't be too much longer. The real estate agent should be here to hand over the keys in a couple of hours or so. Then it'll be official. We'll be the newest residents of Golden Grove. You shifted your weight from one foot to the other. This was a big deal to your mum. Her whole life was changing too. You hoped it wouldn't be a mistake. You didn't want your mum to be sad. Well, you've seen the yard, the outside. Why don't you... On the outside, you don't have to wait here the entire time. How about you go look around the rest of the neighborhood? She bent down, placing her hands on her knees in order to speak directly to you on the same level. It's a safe town, especially this area. You'll be able to play freely out here. Perked right up at the suggestion. You jumped happily, eyes went wide in fear. You turned your face away from her in defiance. Please, you weren't a baby. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, so many things, dear child. You didn't need her to say it was okay. You could look out for yourself. You merely shrugged. You frowned at her. You huffed unhappily. Just the neighborhood that wasn't excited. You wanting to go everywhere. You covered your face with your hands, not wanting to go. Jumped happily. Let's be happy. Mum went back to her normal way of standing, with her head up high and arms folded. That's the spirit. Enjoy yourself. Just don't stray into any other streets today. Yes, Mum, that's not fair. I won't. Promise. You didn't care about the rules. You gave a thumbs up. You grumbled about the restriction. Thumbs up. Thank you. I trust you. That makes me feel like there might be the option to sneak off. With that, you flipped around, bounded down the steps, and went back towards the sidewalk, ready to explore. Ooh, step 1, prologue. Your shoes really squished into the dirt part when you crossed from where you were down to the solid road. The smell of grass and rain-softened ground, crisp through, though somehow also kind of musty, hung in the air, bringing a whole new year of school with it. You were going to be a 5th grader. It would be completely different from being a 4th grader, and not just because you'd be attending a new school. You'd be highest grade of the place. Maybe that was why your mum was so sure you could do this by yourself. You were growing up. I don't understand. I think this is based in America just from how the houses are laid out and the fifth grader thing. So is what do they call it? Elementary school. Is that sort of like 1 to 5, like grades 1 to 5? So you're sort of like 6 to 10 years old, and then there's middle school, which I guess is like 11 to 14, and then high school is 15 to 18 or whatever. I'm honestly not sure. I had a very different schooling system. Not everything about that was a bad thing, you guessed. Then, before you took one more step, there was a faint tap against your shoulder. It was barely stronger than the wind, but it was definitely something, and it was completely out of nowhere. Huh, you wondered what that was? You screamed. I'm so tempted. You rubbed your shoulder, feeling annoyed, whatever it was. It was a ghost, you deduced. You jumped straight up the air, both your fists up, it was a ghost. Let's go with ghost. This town is haunted, and so were the old houses. It made sense. Rapidly, you ping-ponged your gaze from left to right, trying to get a glimpse of the poking perpetrator. No one was there. The neighborhood was empty, except for you. Yes, you judged. It was an invisible ghost, or you would have settled on that if you hadn't noticed that there was a thing you could actually see left behind from the encounter. Sitting there, in between the muddy brown blades of the grass, was something new. Ah, nice, it's a plane. A paper aeroplane? Who would throw this at a stranger, and why would they disappear after doing it? As you considered those questions, your gaze shifted back towards the right, the side from the street where the tap came from. Whoever sent it to you had to have gone that way. You crouched down to grab it while keeping a lookout to make sure nothing else snuck up on you. The paper didn't feel the same crinkly, crackly way most normal paper did. It was thicker, somehow almost like a piece of cloth. It was cottony. That wasn't the only part that stood out. The page was torn. The page was a tan color with dark brown lines, not white and blue, or white and black, or something regular. More questions to add to the confusion. Where would paper like this have come from? You turned the paper airplane around in your hands and squinted your eyes keenly. There were pencil markings on the underside. The paper had scribbles, or maybe even letters. That was enough of a sign to undo the shape someone had put together. You pulled at the flaps of the plane and flattened it out between your palms as best you could. It was true, the paper airplane had a message. Well, maybe. There were some words on it, but not a lot, and they were on different lines from each other. You read over each tiny part from top to bottom. Hello. Go out. Hide out. And then in the bottom corner was Sunny Bunny. Your name. It had been addressed to you personally. There was no mistake that you were the one meant to get that plane. You scrunched up your face. A person wrote stuff on a piece of paper and turned it into paper airplane, threw it at another person, and the messages they sent was that. This was too weird for you. This was so cool. This was a mystery worth solving. This was something that scared you. This was stupid. It's a mystery worth solving. Maybe the words were a code you had to break. Let's tell your mum right now. You were done exploring. It was time to go back to the house. You just wanted to get back to looking around. You're going to get to the bottom of this. Someone or something had to have sent this to you. You weren't going to stop until you found out who and why. Past the parts where the lights shone through the clouds and the parts where it got darker, you began your investigation by heading in the same direction the paper had hit you from. The half circle of houses was out of sight by the time the normal sidewalk ended, and it really ended. Instead of continuing to another street with homes or stores, there was the car road behind you and a bunch of trees and plain ground in front. Going down the road would have to bring you to the rest of the town eventually, but you were sure that would be straying too far, like your mom warned against. That was okay. You had other options. Bending in between the dark trunks and the bright leaves were two lines stamped out through the grass. They went in opposite directions. It was a crossroads. Two options. One led more towards where the neighborhood was, but back further, right on the edge of where the forest started. The other went completely into the trees, a walking path for the people who lived here. You stood there at the start of this turning point in the woods, in your life, feet poised to move over the stirring thicket floor. You know exactly which one you wanted, but you didn't know where you were going. We know which one we're going for. We're going into the trees. There was a path here that was definitely more worth trying than the other. You were sure of it. Something on the inside just told you so. You went down the walking path on the left. You went along the tree line to your right. Tree line. And your quest continued. The path ended up being kind of a trick. You ran out of dirt to walk on after only a minute or two, and then it became plain grass everywhere. Luckily, you only had to keep following the curved bend of bush and tree trunks that separated the forest from not the forest, to know where you were going, where you had planned to go. Then, as you strolled even further, something came into view. You almost didn't notice it at first. Stretching about as high as the trees and made out of practically the same coloured wood was a tower sort of thing. The bottom of it was mostly empty space, with thin stick poles at the corners and only one full wall. There were fake rocks stuck on the boards of the wall side, probably for the people to climb on. Above was an actual floor with a slanty roof and railings around. Some ropes dangled off of it in multiple places. The thought came to you that it had the same feeling as a tree house, except not in a tree. It definitely wasn't a real house. You might have found a local playground. Curiously, you moved closer until you were right in front, and that's when you came to the shocking realization that there was something up in there at the top. I squinted to try seeing more clearly, and your neck bent back so far your head might fall off. You could make out a lumpy pile. Shouting out, you gave the base of the tower a swift kick. A good shake with both hands. You grabbed onto the part sticking out to try climbing up there. Yeah, let's climb up. Reaching one hand higher and the other closer to anchor yourself, you grabbed hold of different fake rocks attached to the wall. You then situated your feet onto the lowest climbing point. You huffed and strained your arms to pull. The foot on the rock then carried all your weight as you lifted the other into the air. It was tricky, but you got the second foot against a rock of its own that was higher up than the first. You'd made it fully off the ground. The sudden sound of clattering ruckus from inside the fort made you flinch in place. It was a scrambling, thudding noise that you knew came from movement. The lump stopped being just a lump. It shot up, bent over the railing, peered down, and saw you. Hello! It was a kid. Who were they? That's all you could wonder. You couldn't look away from their eyes. They were really deep brown. They had a pointy hairline, you noticed. You liked the fluffy hood of the coat they had on. That was the prettiest person you'd ever seen. You know what, let's go with that. That's a cute option. Your hands started to shake as you held yourself up against the wall. You had to step back onto the grass. The person stayed put. The silent standoff of surprise played out between you and the stranger. Then, altogether, one half of their mouth, one of their eyebrows, and one of their hands shifted upwards. That lopsided pose they had, and the fact that they were at the top of the tower, made them seem pretty in charge here. Who are you? Why are you in my backyard? Oh, they were in charge here. I'm Sunny. I didn't know this was your backyard. Who are you? Hi. You're so pretty. Oh, that's adorable. So pretty. You accidentally said out loud. You said absolutely nothing. Your mouth open and closed soundlessly. You couldn't explain yourself. I'm Sunny. Hi, Sunny. At that, they pressed the palms of their hands hard against the railing, then used it to kick their legs up over the sides and throw themselves right off the fort. There was a powerful crunch and a gust of air when the person hit the ground, just a little to the side of where you were. They landed on their feet, crouching into a ball and making the hood of their jacket flip over their head with the impact of falling so far down. The person stayed like that for long enough that the leaves they stood up settled quietly onto the grass again. Then the kids straightened themselves out with more poise than you could could have expected. Squared shoulders, chin up, and one hand they pushed the hood down over their back again. They were confident and knew how to show it. That's that. That was so cool, that seemed dangerous, that was dumb to do. Could I try jumping off? They really impressed you, left speechless. You could have crushed me. I want to try too. Maybe sometime. They took hold of the open sides of the jacket, flapped them out, shaking off the bits of sticks and whatever other stuff that got on it when they collided with the dirt. Anyway, they shifted their head around to get their hair back off their shoulders the way it was before, and then jabbed a finger into their own chest. I'm Mr. Q Lin. Q-I-U and L-I-N. It means... Both of Q's arms spread out openly, gesturing to the wide world around. Autumn, nice to meet you. What's your whole name? I'm Captain Sunny Bunny. Why did you say it so fancy? You didn't say to show your full name and title, you had to write it down in the dirt. Oh, it's nice that they give like more of a mute option. You're not a mister, you're a kid. Why did you say it weird like that? I already knew Q meant autumn, it's Chinese, but shouldn't the U come after the Q? I'm Captain Sunny Bunny. That was perfect, Captain Sunny Bunny. Great, and also how old are you? You seem pretty similar to me. I'm 10, that's none of your business. 10 whole years, double digits. Double digits. Q slapped his fingerless gloved hands against the front of his chest to show just how taken aback he was. Whoa, so am I! Nobody else close by was exactly 10 before, but now there's you. And you're gonna grow up someday, and I'm gonna grow up too, and that's never gonna stop us from being the same age. Cool. Yes, it's great. Even if we are the same age, I still act older than you do. Even if we're the same age, you still act older than I do. You just stood there quietly. Yeah, this is great. Most 10-year-olds were better. More 10-year-olds were better than less, I guess. But the talk you were having ended up with a clear clap from Q to bring it to a close. Now that we're people who know each other, I still want to hear what you were doing. I've lived my whole life in this town, in this neighborhood, in that house, and I've never seen you anywhere. There's got to be something going on. Well, he reached right into your pocket, presented the mystery paper to Q, wanting your own explanation. But before you even said anything about it, Q released it with a tight grimace. He looked as stiff as the wood tower behind him, just like that. He stammered and babbled and pointed his finger all around the space that was sort of in front of you until the word finally came to him. A sorcerer. What? No, wait. Q threw his hands up higher towards his shoulders, then the sudden movement making sure nothing interrupted his train of thought. You're a thief! That's why you're here, to rob my house. That's right, I'm gonna steal all your stuff. No, you were right before. I'm magic, I'm a sorcerer and a thief. I'm not a sorcerer or a thief. Why do you sound so excited? Why would I let you know if I was gonna steal things? I'm magic. Sorry, I'm not gonna be distracted. Once I see something, I don't unsee it. I'm like a hawk. Do you really think I'm a robber? He got all fluttery with his laugh and the waving of his fingers. Nah, you're just a kid, but you've got good tricks. Q tucked one of his hands inside his jacket and moved it around in there, humming the whole time. There was some kind of secret pocket or compartment in his coat. Aha! Just as he thought, when he removed his hand, he was grabbing onto something. It was a little notebook. The edges were bent up and crumbly, probably from being squashed a lot of ways and a lot of times. And there were papers sticking out in weird ways that made you think they weren't even attached to the book anymore. And they were just smashed between other pages to keep them in place. But the thing you noticed the most were the colors, tan with dark brown lines, the paper from the airplane. Q Q flipped the book open, tapped in a slow, considering rhythm at the front page with the back of his knuckles, and said what you wanted to know without having to do anything. That's my special paper, with my notes on it, but it's not in my notebook. It was in your pocket. You must have done the thing that's sleight of hand. Slate of hand? Slate of hand. That's what you did to snatch my stuff in the blink of an eye when I was standing right there. So you're a magician or pickpocket. That's all it could be. He shifted on his feet, putting one hand to his hip and using the other to make a waggling gesture with the notebook. Q was really confident in his accusation against you. Can you show me how you did it? But the wavy motion Q did was too much for the old notebook. It bent in half, upwards and downwards, with the momentum of the owner's arm. Some of the papers slid out. They drifted to the ground lightly, the same way leaves fall from trees. You stared right at them, sitting there freely like that. Q didn't. You lost it, you're right. Maybe you just dropped paper. Yep, it's definitely because I'm magic. I already showed you my trick. You didn't notice, but look at the ground. Dramatically flipped your fingers on the ground. He wanted you to show him, so you would. I've already shown you my trick, huh? Q's eyes widened. He lifted the notebook over his head and twisted his feet outwards more to fully clear his view of the grass below. Finally, he spotted the missing pages. Whoa, thanks! In the middle of talking, he dropped to his knees to scoop up the loose papers. It only took a second for each one to gather. He leaned off his knees onto his butt and made a little oof sound. From there, he got his feet against the ground while pushing up with his hands, still clutching the paper, so he could stand. With that successful rescue mission done, Q delicately flipped through the notebook, inserting the loose papers along the way between different pages. He went all the way to the end. Then Q's complete book was pressed shut once more. Hey, that really helped, Sonny. A beaming smile directed right into your face almost had you covering your eyes, but before that happened, he looked away. Q twisted to the side to better rummage inside the hidden pocket of his jacket. He made super sure that the entire stack of papers made it back safely this time. You heard a sigh of relief. In an even swooping move, Q tilted his head back over his shoulder to reveal his face again. The bright expression from before was completely gone. He had that smirk again. So, did you see that? I don't lose anything. Are you kidding? Whatever, Q. Cheeks got hot from embarrassment. Oh, I didn't even notice there was a page 2. Has that been a thing the whole time? You're an idiot, you said jokingly. You broke into laughter. It was cool. You annoyingly had to admit yourself. You're an idiot. I'm gonna go with you're an idiot. Maybe, but I mean what I say. Q's fun with your reaction came out as a set of snickers. His mood drifted away once those were done. Q twisted to the side to better rummage inside the hidden pocket of his jacket. He made sure that the notebook made it back to its normal spot. When he tilted his face back to you, he was quiet and thoughtful. This is very mysterious. My paper vanished, and a brand new kid appeared in my backyard. All out of nowhere, I don't get it. Q, I'm your neighbor now. I moved into the middle house on the street. Oh, the new neighbors. That's right, that's you. It makes so much sense. Q shook his head side to side, flopping dark brown strands of hair around, trying to sort out his thoughts. But if you're just my new neighbor, not a thief or a sorcerer, how'd you know that was my paper? I didn't know, not for sure. What were you showing? What? You were showing my notes off to everyone you saw in the world? Yeah, that was kind of the idea. Huh? You breathed in, let it out, and then tried to explain the weird situation that didn't even make sense to you. I got here today with my mum. She's waiting for the real estate agent, so I had to go spend time doing something. I went down the road, and a paper aeroplane hit me in the shoulder, and no one was there. Q nodded along, probably not getting everything you were talking about, but curious enough just to keep listening. I picked it up and opened the plane and saw the stuff written on it. I thought the person throwing the message was trying to give, during the plane was trying to give me a message. I've been looking for whoever did it since. When I met you, I had to check if you were the one who did it. You'd went over the steps that led you to this point as best you could, and Q joined in with the conclusion. It wasn't me who made any airplane, but the page and things on it are mine. He put his hands on his hips as he thought hard about the info he'd learned from you. That means someone else somehow got a piece of paper from my notebook and used that to make a plane they chucked at you for some crazy reason. I guess so, but if you are the one who wrote that, how did you know my name? That was on the note. And what were those other words supposed to mean? Hello, go out, hide out, Sunny Bunny, it doesn't make sense. Oh! Q cracked a smile and flicked his arms out to start his own explanation. That's just stuff I was gonna do. Counting 1, 2, 3 on his fingers, Q listed off each part of the letter simply. Hello, say hi to the people around, go out. Visit the town or another neighborhood or whatever. Hideout means go to my hideout. Q stopped the countdown to pat the sturdy wooden wall behind him with pride. Right here. Fine, I get it now. Wow, I like your hideout. That's all stupid. That's so stupid, you said amused. Your hideout is in your own backyard. If that's a hideout, why would you tell me it's a hideout? Yeah, if it's a hideout, why would you tell me it's a hideout? You seem alright. You can know about it, but don't tell anyone else. Ah, right, yeah, for your name being there, my mom and dad told me. They talked about how people were moving in next door and how there was going to be a kid my age and that her name was Sunny Bunny. It was cool to me, so I wrote it down. That way I wouldn't forget. And I even took out and read the page a lot to make sure it'd be something I remembered. Looks like I forgot after all. Thanks for trying to remember anyway. Wow, you're such a scatterbrain. Can't believe you forgot because you lost paper. You said put off. I don't know why you're so confident when you get everything wrong. You said put off. Let's be fond. Q patted the front of his jacket with all this surety in the world. You guess that was where the pocket with the notebook was set. More like an organized brain. But I'm gonna stick with you now. Whoever took my paper is still out there, and you were their target. Maybe you're not a sorcerer thief, but what if the paper airplane person is? We'll figure it all out, and you won't have to worry about anything. You can come. I was gonna ask that. This is something I need to do on my own. Sorry. An agreement. Thanks. I've been scared to go alone. Yeah, I could use more eyes for looking. Super. Do we have a plan? You stood up tall, accepting your now partner on this trip and laid out the next part. Yeah, I know which way we should go now. We have to go to the spot in the forest with 2 dirt paths. I know the place. It's right nearby. Let's do this. And so you started to walk along the autumn tree line now with your new partner in the adventure. Right. My throat has been dying for a while now, so I think I'm going to end it here, but thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm so excited to try this demo out, and yeah, bye!